Hey, hey, hey. Hope all is very well. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful you're here. It's World Poetry Day, and it's a special place in my heart. I'm feeling pretty vulnerable. I've had a pretty tough day today because I was really anticipating recording this episode, and it's my heart and soul, and something I really love to do. And the more you put it off, sometimes you put off the things you want to do. You ever do that? But here I am. I even did some preparation in honor of today's episode, and it is a solo episode with one and only me and you. Thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. It is World Poetry Day, March 21st, and it's also my parents' anniversary. I love language. I love poetry. I grew up reading poets, the language, their words just gave me so much depth and insight. And I'm very grateful. I had a lot of alone time as an independent human while my parents were at work, forging the American dream. And I was able to be home after cross country practice for a few hours by myself. Being Greek, it inspired me to, English. I just loved English. Socrates was my best friend growing up. I joke now and I say I'm a spiritual younger sister. So Plato, The Republic. I actually have been listening to it recently because it's been a while and it came up in some conversations recently. So tuning into that. If you haven't read The Republic by Plato, I would highly suggest it. You can definitely listen to it on Audible, Libby, Labby. Download Libby. You can download and listen to up to 30 audiobooks per month for free. And if you prefer reading, I rather hold the book if I'm reading, but you can grab it from Libby and it takes the ebook from Amazon and it's like checking it out from a library, but you read it on your Kindle or your iPad, which means you're on the electronics. And I'm already on the electronics a lot, so as much as I cannot be on the electronics, I go for the audio or a book in hand. With that being said, I do have a poetry book called A Lover's Fairytale. It is on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles and everywhere, so you can go to aloversfairytale.com or my website. It'll also be in the show notes. And you can pick up the book if you want to read some poetry about love. When I was putting everything together for that book, which was my very first poetry book. And I'm not going to beat myself up that it took me so long, but I, wanted to be a published poet when I was 12. So, but, there wasn't Amazon or YouTube or those kind of independent tools back then, but there are now. And we were in the pandemic and I thought, what's one thing I've always wanted to do that I haven't done? I've always wanted to become a published poet. So there was no reason to put it off any longer. And I released 11 pieces of my heart and soul and actually have spoken word music videos to them as well that that you can see when you have the book. It'll lead you to a playlist, which is on YouTube if you want to see it. Lover's Fairytale playlist, so you can watch the videos. But so I'll read one or two poems from that book for you today. I also have been playing with Chat GPT and Bing for AI poetry and Prequel, the app, putting photos of me as a subject into AI generators and creating pieces and then taking the AI images and then coupling them with AI poetry. So, and I'm doing spoken word AI poetry now, which is really cool. As an actor, you memorize your lines, you know them, then when you write them, you know them. And then there's poets who just read, and I've never been a poet who just reads. Never been that kind of poet, but it takes a lot of pressure off. So with the ChatGPT, I took subjects. So this one in particular, Claire Silver, she's in the space of Web3. She had a contest and it was going to go in all these different places, and it was AI poetry and the subject was rebuttal. So I had me as a subject in a white dress, in a white bath, with roses all around, and I put it through an AI generator. And the one I selected, it came out with fires and it looked like a paper on the image, and it's burnt and it looks like there's fire. So it's like burnt baths with roses and burnt paper with poetry. I did that in October of 2022, and then the opportunity, and it just sat in my catalog. And then the opportunity came with the AI images or anything AI related. I decided to input AI poetry. So I input roses. The theme was for the contest was rebuttal. So I put rebuttal, roses, and bass in the AI generator. And I did it 3 different times. They're a variation, similar. Some are, a little off. But so I'll read that for you today. It's AI poetry, and I titled it Burnt Bass. Also have a new book coming up called The Actor. It's called The Actor, My Greatest Love Thus Far. So I'll read you a piece from that today, if that's cool. I actually wrote a piece yesterday. It's very short, but normally my poems are very long. And so a lot. Growing up, my poems were very, very long. And so I've been practicing being shorter with my poems. So this one is a pretty short one, but maybe I'll just start with that. But today's all about poetry, language, and love and the word. One of my persons growing up that really inspired me that I read a lot was Mark Twain. I remember when I got one of my first emails, he has this beautiful quote, and it was at the signature for maybe a few years. But he had so much wisdom and hope and faith about being a seeker and your imagination and going on adventures. Just gave me this knowing and this discipline at a young age. I actually just pulled up Mark Twain quotes just so I can share them with you. How about that? We'll just start there with some great inspiration. And I was a kid reading these, so imagine being, I don't even know if I was a teenager. I might have been 9, 10, 11. So here are some. No amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. Mark Twain. Politicians in diapers must be changed often and for the same reason. Mark Twain. Life is short. Break the rules. Forgive quickly. Kiss slowly. Love truly. Laugh uncontrollably. And never regret anything that makes you smile. Mark Twain. Oh, that was one of my favorites. I love this one, reflecting on this one now. I was educated once. It took me years to get over it. Mark Twain. Why waste your money looking up your family tree? Just go into politics and your opponent will do it for you. Kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Mark Twain. Never argue with stupid people. They will just drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Mark Twain. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from making bad decisions. Mark Twain. That's what I told my mom. She never got it. She's like, when's the light bulb going to come on? Why do you have to experience it? Why do you have to go through it? Shouldn't you just know? Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from making bad decisions. She never understood that theory. Ever. She still doesn't to this day. Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful day of your life. Mark Twain. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you read the newspaper, you're misinformed. Do you get that? I mean, obviously you do, but I never read the paper growing up. I never watched TV growing up. Like, being around these kind of people when I was a kid, it just gave me so much guidance. I never read the news, never watched the news, wasn't really big into watching TV. When I was 17, my father was so stupid. I didn't want to be seen with him in public. When I was 24, I was amazed at how much the old man learned in just 7 years. Mark Twain. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. Mark Twain. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. Worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. Mark Twain. The older I get, the more clearly I remember things that never happened. Mark Twain. If voting made any difference, they wouldn't let us do it. It's better to be an optimist who is sometimes wrong than a pessimist who is always right. Yeah, I took that one to heart. Trust me. If we were meant to talk more than listen, we would have 2 mouths and 1 ear. If you want to change the future, you must change what you're doing in the present. Whenever you reflect, whenever you find yourself on the other side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. This is a great one. Never miss an opportunity to shut up. I mean, they're all great. Some people, like me, bring joy wherever they go. Some people bring joy whenever they go. Yeah, for sure. Just because you're taught that something's right and everyone believes it's right, it don't make it right. Mark Twain. Do not complain about growing old. It is a privilege denied to many. All right, that was good. One of my favorite ones is definitely not here, but that's okay. So here's my new AI poetry piece. I hope you like it. Burnt bass, burnt ashes, blackened stains. A tale of destruction, of fire's pains. But do not let it be in vain. Rebuttal, a call to rise again, to find the beauty in the end, in the ashes. A new beginning. Roses, symbols of love and grace, amidst the rubble, they find their place. A reminder that hope will never be displaced. The fire may have left its mark, but it cannot extinguish the spark of resilience and the will to embark. For every end, there is a start, and in this burnt path, a new chapter will be written with roses and a brighter future. So let us not dwell on the past. Look ahead to the future cast. Okay. This is the one I wrote yesterday. Not with AI. I wrote this one. Destroy my heart. Gaslight me. As if my feelings do not matter. As if I do not exist. Controlling, controlled, psychological twist. I love you. You said you love me. Taken deep into my heart. Onto the ocean floor. From the start. Go ahead. Act like I do not exist. Make yourself feel better. Disillusion with a twist. How's that for a short piece? So, here's one from my book, A Lover's Fairytale. Is available everywhere, internationally everywhere. ALoversFairytale.com. It's called A Conversation with God. Mozart to the first degree. A temptation, a management of what could be. A discovery, a mystery unknown. A breakthrough, a new you is what I know. I've seen you before. Oh yes, that one special place. A thought, a forgiven, is what I know lest. Blessing for the unknown. Dear secret to my heart. Health, happiness. I sit here in somber of joy. And the feelings we once felt. What we're feeling. What we know. What we see. What it is. You and me. I see it oh so clear. I feel it oh so deep. I see you and I see me. A feeling, a breakthrough, a new you, a discovery to a different way. Your way, my way, or our way. I seek and slither some play, crying for you each and every day. I speak to you. I want to play. I leave to you each and every day. A heart from the spoken of the unknown. I seek for you. I play with you. You play with me. We are so happy and oh, so neat. You cherish me, you care for me, you want the world for me. Think and feel highly of me. I seek. I feel joyousness of joyousness. Oh, please let there be more than just one. For I have seen the spoken, the unknown, and what's supposed to become. I think we will reap with pleasure and delight. My heart speaks to you, my intuition never too clear. As the days go by with you and me, as we scroll down the beaches of the Malibu Sea, I close my eyes and let it be true, oh, ever so clear. Dear, stay mind of the force, sources be with you, sources too gentle, sources I femme fatale, I match, holly, go lightly. Thanks for listening. It's kind of a heavy inspirational episode. So, with National Poetry Month coming up in April, I'm going to save the actor piece I'm going to read for the actor, My Greatest Love Thus Far. I'll save it for a near future episode if that's okay. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. It's World Poetry Day. Please share this on your platforms and spread the word of language. Share with people your favorite book. Share with people your favorite author. Share with people the word, sound, vibrations. It's so important. Your voices matter. So, try writing if you're not a writer. If you want to, sing, say it out loud, scream it, however. It moves stuff around, especially when we're feeling stuck. I'm saying this too, but sometimes I get so stuck. I'll go a long time without writing, and then when I start doing it, it feels so good. Why did I wait so long? Every single time. Why did it take so long? There's this cement stillness within me sometimes where I just feel I can't move. But that's the energy that's clogged that needs to move to flow. So I'm just sharing with you. But lastly, Caroline Myss, MYSS, she's a mystic intuitive from Chicago. She has a TED Talk on choices, the power of the choice. She has, she talks about our words, and every word is its own universe. When I say something, you may not be triggered, or I may say something, you may be triggered. Someone else may say something, you might get triggered. Someone else says something you don't. A family member, they can trigger us because, they know how to set us on fire, but someone else can say something and it just has no meaning, or it just doesn't make us move in such a way. So depending on what that word means for us as an individual, what that word means based on the circumstances and the context of who we're speaking and relating with and to, deciphers the power and weight of that very word, of each word. So we're having communications, conversations with people, and they get flustered, or a lot of times there's miscommunication. They're interpreting certain universes that we are so unaware of. And same for us. Sometimes people are speaking to us and they're not understanding what we're meaning, and we just put meaning onto these words, and it's not communicated, and it's not thought of at all. A lot of people aren't thinking of those things, but it's important. Not only the sound, meaning, vibration, tone, and how we communicate, what the meaning for each word is, and then dismantling and not putting so much meaning onto a word. So hopefully that inspires you. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Okay, ciao. Bye.